Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co, and today I'm diving into a few new projects that have shown up on GameFound. If you've been browsing around the GameFound homepage, you may have noticed that there are 4 new projects showing up there. 4 new projects with a little Awaken Realms next tag, huge amounts of followers, 18,000 followers, 16,000 followers, 12,000 followers, and what is this over here? 5,000, 6,000 followers on these dice over here. Now, before I go into further into what this is, in case you missed it, a quick short overview of everything going on. Before I do go into that further, quick disclaimer, I do work for GameFound, take that into account. This is me covering the Awaken Realms next press event that they did, which we'll talk about. I know next to nothing about these games. You may be disappointed. I work for GameFound, I do not work for Awaken Realms, so you may be disappointed by how little I know about these games, but take that into account. But also disclaimer, because, you know, covering all these games and the showing up in GameFound and all of that. But this is basically just meant to be a brief overview of the Awaken Realms next event. Basically, Awaken Realms next, they did a grand reveal, they had a whole press event, an hour-long video, you can check that out, I'll have it linked down below, and they go over a bunch of the upcoming projects that will be on GameFound, some of the upcoming projects that aren't yet announced exactly what. There's going to be an RPG, this video game stuff, not everything is going to be over on GameFound or crowdfunding or all of that, you can check all of that out, but then past that, there are 4 new campaigns, 4 new projects coming from them. We have Nemesis Retaliation, which is going to be a sequel to Nemesis. We have, or the prequel, the third one in the series from Nemesis. We have STALKER, the board game, which is going to be a bit of a dungeon crawl exploration. We'll talk more about that briefly. We have Dragon Eclipse, which is going to be a 1 to 2 player experience as you collect various dragons, I think. Probably, again, I know less than you think. And then we have over here, we have these dice, the Awaken Realms Vault story dice. New initiative from Awaken Realms, the Awaken Realms Vault, focusing very heavily on components. And we're starting off with story dice. They have a full press event covering all of those, a full videos, everything. You can check all that out if you want to get highlight reels, if you want to get the, the 2-minute video on every single one of these things. And I do recommend watching them, the ones that you are interested in particularly. And then, of course, there's also just a bit of an update on how Awaken Realms has been doing, and like some quick highlight reels, some fast-paced music, some various things showing you the stuff they've done, the stuff they are doing, all of that fun stuff coming from Awaken Realms. That was basically the Awaken Realms press, the Awaken Realms next event, highlighting 4 new campaigns, their plans for 2023, rolling out what you can expect for them across the rest of this year, and as a starting basis, before we even get into what these are, I think that's very cool. I think the concept of companies doing hey, here's what's happening for us in 2023 is something you see from the video game industry. Something you see from the video game industry in terms of companies kind of rolling out their plans, showing you what's up, giving you a bit of a map pathway. There's a term for it. There's a term, I'm blanking this. They're rolling out their blueprints. No, it's the wrong terminology. They have something. There's a term for this. I'm forgetting the term. But rolling out their plans for the year, giving you all that up front so you just know what's happening. And I think that's cool, and we're going to be going over these 4 campaigns very briefly in the order that they are presented, with the caveat that I don't actually know when Awaken Realms story dice are coming out. But with that, let's go ahead and dive into it. And again, this is a quick overview of the thing. If you want to see the full stuff, watch the hour-long video. It'll give you more information, or as much information as I'm giving you, depending on what you're looking for here. Starting off with the first one, announced for Quarter 2 2023. So this is coming in Quarter 2, and as usual, this is crowdfunding. All dates are hypothetical. We'll see what actually happens with them. But the first thing to know about this one is this one does have a follow award. Before we even get into the game itself, there's a follow award. Anyone who follows the campaign before the campaign starts will get this character for free, assuming you also back the game. You don't just get it, you have to back the game too, but you'll get this character for free. In general, GameFound has a lot of follow awards. Not all of these projects have follow awards, at least not yet, but the STALKER board game does. And the STALKER board game, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a board game, the STALKER video game, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a video game that has had 3 iterations, if I'm not mistaken, sold like 18 million copies between them all, or something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but they sold a decent amount. I believe I briefly played one of them, but it was so long ago, I'm not actually sure. But it's a post-apocalyptic video game, and they are adapting it to a board game. Awaken Realms is adapting it to a board game, and something that will be a bit of a dungeon crawler-esque experience. You're not going to have a first-person shooter, rather you'll have, obviously, Awaken Realms miniatures, their quality, production, all of that stuff. But it's going to be focusing very heavily on the players, building out your characters, building out your boards, going through a bunch of kind of stories. I don't see the tiles over here, they have them in the videos, but there are tiles. The terrain itself is more of a dungeon crawler kind of situation in which you're wandering from room to going to location, exploring and building as you go through this game. So it's going to be more dungeon crawler adjacent than first-person shooter adjacent. First-person shooters don't work in board games. You have to in some way adapt it, and they've been done fairly well. 6 Siege did it tremendously well as far as how they adapted it. There are going to be other games, both in the past and upcoming, that have adapted first-person shooters in creative ways. Adrenaline had a fascinating ways how they incorporated the first-person shooter into ultimately being an area control puzzle. But this is going to be leaning more into the dungeon crawler and building out your character and building out your stats. So Looks very cool. Don't know much more about it than that. That's all I know. Again, I really know a little bit more than what was covered in the press event, and that's all we really got over here. But yeah, check out the follow award. Again, if you are in any way interested in this, you may as well follow. You do not have to back it. You can unfollow at any point. You can go to your settings to choose the campaigns you don't want to see more information on, but at least this way you'll lock in that free gift if you are in any way uncertain as to whether you'll be backing this project. From there, we move on to Dragon Eclipse. This one's announced for Q3 2023. Dragon Eclipse is an exciting new board game for 1 to 2 players as you deal with the magical, mythical beasts and ancient dragons and all that, uncover the secret of the eclipse, etc, etc, etc. Now, it says follow out to get a free gift on this one as well. It's a secret follower gift though, so that's what we got, a secret follower gift, nothing officially announced, but again, same kind of logic. If you're in any way interested, any way intrigued, go ahead and check this one out. This one does look like it's going to be a lighter experience, a story-driven game designed for 1 to 2 players. You're going to be having deck building, gathering companions, dealing with them. It's going to have some degree of miniatures as well. Yeah, that's what we're going to have over here. The arena, ultimate test of skills, challenge your friends. So it almost has a Pokemon adjacent thing. It's got like deck building, challenging your friends in an arena as you show off your collection. It seems intriguing in terms of what it's doing. I don't know much more than that. Again, that's what we have over here. It's going to be deck building. It's going to be collecting dragons, collecting mythical beasts, challenging friends in a 1 to 2 player experience. That's going to be Dragon Eclipse coming to GameFound in Q3 2023. That's all I got. Not a lot of information. You can check out the, all these have videos. All of these have fun little videos. Again, I'll have links to all these down below. If you want to check out the videos, you can watch the Awaken Realms next full hour-long thing, or you can just click on the individual videos in these games for a quick highlight of not necessarily gameplay, but some of them have touches of gameplay, but even just the, giving you a highlight or a feel for what the game will bring. From there, we have Nemesis Retaliation. No free gift for this one, at least not yet. That said, it hasn't stopped this from being the most followed. In fact, maybe there's a free gift now. I don't believe so. Nope, no free gift yet. But we have 18,000 people following this campaign. This is the most followed one, which is not a surprise, because while Stalker and Dragon Eclipse to some extent are unknowns, Nemesis Retaliation is going to be the 3rd iteration in the Nemesis universe. We had Nemesis Lockup, which I still haven't played. I've played Nemesis, I've not played Nemesis Lockup. And then we have Nemesis Retaliation, a standalone expansion to one of the biggest board game hits of recent years. And it is indeed, I think it was, I'm a 17 on Board Game Geek. Nemesis is well loved, and Nemesis Retaliation is going to be bringing more Nemesis, and with its own twist to it. The same way Lockup changed the game, and I really need to play Lockup, because I have heard that Lockup would in some way address the issues that I personally have with Nemesis. I like Nemesis a lot, but I've had inconsistent experiences based on how I played and who I played with, and so I really need to play it again. But before we even go down that rabbit hole, I need to play Lockup before this one comes out, because I can't justify having 3 of these on my shelf. I need to pick one and move on. Honestly, one of the nice things about Retaliation is it kind of does push me into the mental mindset of I'm not going to try to own all these. Rather, I'm going to try to own one of these, and even that only if I really, really want to. But it's coming Q4 2023. It's coming the 3rd and probably final. If you watch the video from Adam Kopinski, it seems like it's the final iteration of the series. Maybe, possibly. But that's going to be Nemesis Retaliation, coming to GameFound Q4 2023. And then something new, which may or may not intrigue you. It's not my jam personally, because I'm not a dice person in general. I like dice games, but I'm not really a dice person in terms of upgraded premium dice. But we have Awaken Realms Vault Story Dice. Now, 6,000 people following this campaign. I don't believe it's officially announced when, but they do want your feedback. And in general, by the way, in all these campaigns, they do want your feedback. If you have ideas, if you have interesting suggestions or things you want to see or ways you want pledges structured, I'm not saying you'll get what you want, but I am saying Awaken Realms does listen to feedback, and they absolutely have adjusted and incorporated feedback from backers, from followers into their games. So by all means, give your feedback. And the reason I'm thinking of that more so now is they're very specific. They're like, hey, give us your ideas. If there's something you want to see in one of these dice over here, tell us so we can possibly take into account and possibly do it. But these are going to be story dice that give you the actual die roll, but also give you interesting faces that craft a story that in some way you can incorporate into your universe. My personal favorite, by the way, is the koi fish. I like, first of all, the ball aspect of it, which might make it a little harder. I wonder how long it'll take to land on a defined spot. But past that, it looks very intriguing as far as the actual koi kind of swimming in between the numbers. But yeah, this is going to be giving you some form of, dice and numbers on them. There have been a lot of comments as far as balance. Are they balanced? Will they be balanced? How will they be tested? A lot of that. Some people are like, I don't care. I just want them, and I just won't use them because they're not balanced. Other people are like, well, not they're not balanced, if they're not balanced. Others are like, well, I could use them, and I actually want to use them, and I like it when dice aren't like 100% because it kind of has a little bit of a degree of unknown to it, which to you, do you if you want that. I think it depends on the game. I think sometimes I wouldn't mind that, and if they roll 20s more often, I certainly wouldn't mind that. But past that, I'm sure Awaken Realms will in some way be addressing your questions about how balanced they are and how much tests they've done and all that. I'm sure they'll be in some way. I mean, these are dice after all, but whether they are just something that they're fun to go with and it's not 100% perfectly balanced or not, I don't know all that. What I do know is these are all intriguing in different ways. It's just, again, not my personal jam, but there's 6,000 people following this, so it's 6,000 people's personal jam, at least as far as that goes. This is Awaken Realms Vault story dice coming to GameFound at some point in 2023. And that is basically it. You can check out more information on the blog post we did over here. The blog post, GameFound did a blog post on this, talking about the event, talking about a quick highlight, but Awaken Realms covered it as well. You can check out all of that. That has been a quick overview of the Awaken Realms Next press event that went up this past Tuesday. I was hoping to cover it live. I was unable to, but this is my quick summary of everything going on. 4 new campaigns, giving you Awaken Realms timeline and plans for the coming year, for 2023. We have the story dice. We have, in order, we have the story dice. We have Stalker, the board game. We have Dragon Eclipse, and then we have Nemesis Retaliation, I think that was the order, all coming to Awaken Realms and GameFound at some point in 2023. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.